All right, let's try this again. Welcome to the 12 Days of Tarot Pick a Card reading. So we've been doing the 12 Days of Tarot for 7 days. This is day 7. And pick a cards have been going on every other week on my Instagram Live for a couple months now. So whenever it came to picking what video I would be doing on this Sunday, I figured why not have our 12 Days of Tarot video be the pick a card reading. So if you are watching this live on Instagram, welcome. We are going to dive into the cards in just a moment, but I'm going to talk a little bit about the energy at large so that we can wait for people to trickle on in. If you're watching this later on a replay on Instagram or YouTube, welcome, welcome. You can follow me on @MichelleShea on Instagram and get these type of readings every other Sunday. So if you want to join in, feel free. We are moving into our preliminary stages to the winter solstice tomorrow. We have also the grand conjunction, the great conjunction. A lot of people I listen to call it the grand conjunction. It's the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn lining up in Aquarius. So there are some big energy shifts coming about tomorrow. However, I do want to say that people kind of keep acting like it's going to be like a whole overnight new world transformation, and it's going to be more subtle than that. It's going to be good, but it's not going to be like we wake up and all of a sudden it's, all of our problems are solved. So we have a goddess that just jumped out of the deck for our general collective reading. We have total Betty goddesses in the pick a card selection. We're going to do one just for the general reading of today, people here on this video, whether you're watching it live or later. And that is Bastet. Bastet is played by the best Catwoman of all time, Michelle Pfeiffer in Batman Returns, because the Total Betty Goddess deck includes all of the goddesses as 90s icons. I created it. It's for sale over at michellesheawalker.com/shop. So if you like these cards that you're about to see, feel free to check them out there. But Bastet is the goddess of cats, first of all, which makes her a clear selection for Catwoman. But it's also, she's very much involved in pleasure. So when you think about cats, they have no shame in having pleasure and finding pleasure in the world. So that is what this card is telling us, to luxuriate and take a nap and a patch of sun if you need to this week. And it's a good week because, we've got the Christmas holiday, we've got winter solstice, as I said, lots of celebrations going on, lots of people off from their jobs. So it's a good day to take a nap in a patch of sun. So with that in mind, we're going to dive into our pick a card results. I was kind of hoping to have a few more people on the feed. Let me just check to make sure. Okay, I hope everything's working. So we'll have some people join in as you can, or you'll watch the replay later. We're going to dive into our card readings, which are from both the Total Betty Goddess decks and Wild Unknown Tarot. So we've got 2 Wild Unknown cards and 1 goddess for each pile. And before I dive into those, I guess I'll talk about the selection of the cards, because if you haven't seen the photo on my Instagram page that had the picture of the card selections that you could choose from, don't worry, because you can pick right now based on the energy of the crystals that are associated with each card pile. So for pile number 1, ask yourself if you're drawn to this crystal. It's a little baby blue guy. There we go. That's a clearer shot. So if this feels like it's calming and soothing and drawing you in, you're pile number 1. This little Dalmatian stone is calling out to you, you're pile number 2. And if this orange calcite is calling out to you, you're pile number 3. So again, we have the blue stone, the Dalmatian stone, and the orange stone. So kind of feel out which one of those felt good to you. Send your energy out into that stone card pile so that you can kind of figure out which one of those is going to be attached to you in this reading. And then we're going to dive into the cards. So first we have pile number 1, the baby blue. If you pick this guy, We're going to dive into your goddess and your wild unknown, and then we'll see if we need to pull some more cards or if it's a very clear message. So first up, we have your total Betty goddess, who is Jillian is the goddess name, but why am I blanking on her spice name? Hello, and her spice name is Ginger Spice. Ginger Spice is your 90s icon for the goddess Jillian. Goddess Jillian is about, in the Total Betty Goddess deck, she is about freedom. And in particular, freedom to just kind of be that feminine, flirty, self-empowered person that you want to be. That's why she's a spice girl in the deck, because it's very much like, not, I don't want any men, but like I could have a man, I could have a boy toy, I could, and I guess man is just for this example. If you are of the masculine persuasion, apply it to your applicable person. But it's basically an energy of enjoying both your freedom and the ability to flirt and interact with others. So as we go back into what the card was for the collective, which was Bastet with her cat-like pleasure, this goes very well with that. This is very much like, have your fun. I like to think of this goddess, even though traditionally this goddess is about having a it's associated with a festival where women are at the center of a maze and men come to like find them and free them from the maze. But I like to think of her as you can free yourself. But it's also associated with flirtation and spring, and it reminds me of, has anyone ever seen, I think it's called Darby O'Dell and the Little People? There's some weird 60s movie in which there's a bunch of little gnome type people running around a forest, and the men are trying to catch the women, and the women are like trying their best to like grease themselves up, or no, maybe it's the other way around. Someone's trying to catch someone. This just feels very fun and spring and flirtatious is what this energy is. So the interesting thing about that is this flirtatious, fun, independent goddess is coming in with some cards that are kind of telling you that things may not be quite what they seem. So your card for your energy, pile number 1, people, is the 7 of Swords. And the 7 of Swords indicates that there is some secrets being kept. Either people are keeping secrets from you, or you are keeping secrets from yourself or from someone else. And hello, thank you for saying hello down there. We are talking about, basically, I think that the reason that this fun, flirtatious energy is coming on with this energy card is to not take things too seriously. If you're having a current flirtation, or if you are playing around with a new passion, or you're daydreaming about your future, like everything right now is still aligning and you're still getting clarity and all the information is still coming out. So this is not saying like shut it down. It's saying have fun with it. Have fun with the daydreams, but like don't sign any contracts right now. Don't make any finalized decisions. I feel like this light is very bright. Don't make any finalized decisions in regards to anything, because there's still more information that's coming out. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a bad secret that comes out. It just means that there's something that's not being said yet. And then the advice that's coming in with is a very similar energy. We have another 7 of Pentacles, which is basically just saying like, wait for things to line up a little bit better. Like these 2 wild unknown cards are saying that you're kind of in a pause in the action forward. It's not the time to sign the contracts. It's definitely not a time to get married. If you have a flirtation going on, don't marry them right this second. This is not the time to make long-standing commitments. So think of this as kind of like a Mercury retrograde period. Even though Mercury is not retrograde, think of it as a period of Mercury retrograde, in that, you don't have to fear it. That's my philosophy on Mercury retrograde. You don't want to fear Mercury retrograde, but you want to make sure that you're taking seriously that, finalizing contracts and sealing deals might not be the best idea at this time. So just wait it out. Because they are 7 cards, I would say for the next either 17 days or 7 weeks, depending on the situation. But there's a 7 in the number. That's just, take it easy. Have fun with it. But don't don't seal any deals. Again, yeah, like don't sign contracts, don't get married, whatever it is that you're having a lot of fun with, don't make it permanent just yet. Wait until more information comes out, and you'll know when the information comes out. So that'll be really what your timeline is. Like the 7 cards are indicating that there might be like it might be 7 days, 17 days, 27 days, 7 weeks. There's a 7 involved, but also you're gonna know. You're gonna know when this information comes out because it's gonna change the game a little bit. And that doesn't mean it's not something you should fear. It's not like it's changing the game in a bad way necessarily. It's just gonna shift the way that you're planning for the future. So I feel like maybe we need one more card with this pile. So I'm going to pull one more card just to kind of give a little more idea of what's happening. So clarify what's happening with this flirtation and these secrets and this pause and action. Like, what are you learning here, I think is what we're going to go for with this card. Okay, Son of Wands. Son of Wands is the card of charm and wit. It's usually representing a masculine figure that is very charming and very alluring and very adventurous, but may not be quite what he seems. And again, that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Sometimes it is, but it's very much like this is a very charming and adventurous person, and they are there in your life to help you embrace that side of yourself. But there's more to the story than what is first presented. So it's basically saying like you want to wait and get to know this energy. So if those of you that are thinking of a relationship, this could be a representative of that. If instead it's more of like a passion project or a deal that you're thinking about or whatever it is you're flirting with right now, it's saying that there's more to it than what you know. So to use a metaphor, like rather than getting, married on the 3rd date, make sure that you are waiting to just know if there's any skeletons in the closet and know what the skeletons are so that you can appropriately channel that flirtatious energy in a way that feels more stable. So that is pile number 1. Pile number 2, if you picked this little Dalmatian stone, or if it's calling out to you right now, you're pile number 2. So pile number 2, we have the goddess Thetis. So Thetis is played by Christina Applegate in the movie Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead, one of my favorites. And she is the goddess she's a shapeshifter goddess. So she can transform herself. And that's why this character is playing her, because the character, if you're not familiar with the movie, is a teenager getting ready to, have her last summer after high school. And when the babysitter dies, she ends up going into the working world and lying about her age and pretending to be a mom and pretending to be, like 10 years older than she actually is. So this is saying like you're capable of transforming yourself. You're capable of being something different than what the outside world might be thinking that you are. And that is coming in with some really supportive energy to that. So we have the energy of the Son of Swords. So the Son of Swords is all about taking quick and inspired action. So I would venture to guess that if you pick pile number 2, you might be the type of person that people expect to be a little more cautious, a little more planning things out before you do things. People are expecting something of you that's very stable, sort of slow to make a selection, slow to make a choice. And this is encouraging you to change that up and to be a little more impulsive. The Son of Swords is a very impulsive card, and it's saying that just because you've divined yourself as this cautious person doesn't mean that you have to be that cautious in this particular scenario. So dive in. And then the result of that, the advice that comes with that, is the 9 of Pentacles. So the 9 of Pentacles is saying that you could get everything that you're wanting, or almost everything that you're wanting. The thing I like about the 9s in most of the suits is that it's not the 10. There are 10 cards in a suit, and tarot and in regular playing cards. And it's not the 10, so it's not the end goal of whatever that suit is. But the 9s are usually a feeling of you're almost there. Like, this is still pretty good. Like, the pentacles are coins, they're money, they're home, they're abundance. So, like, you could be getting almost all the coins. And it's okay if you're still working on that last coin. But there's something about whatever it is that was in mind whenever you picked your pile. If you picked pile number 2 with that little Dalmatian stone, it is saying that you can dive in quickly and be rewarded for it. So change yourself up, change that definition of yourself to be someone that can take this risk and can take that leap of faith and see what your rewards are. So we'll put one more card for this one because these feel pretty clear. By the way, if anyone has any like questions or anything like that they need to ask during any of this, that little question button to the side of your comment box is the easiest way to do it. I really try to read the comments as they're coming in, but I'm, when I'm doing readings, there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of information coming at me, and when you add in live technology to that, it's hard to focus on all those things. So I appreciate your presence here and your patience. And this might be in a relationship. Someone has picked this pile because there is a partnership that's coming in that you can dive in. So this is kind of the opposite energy of our pile number 1 people. So pile number 1, we have flirt, but like hold back a little bit. Pile number 2, we're like, you may not think that you're capable of being impulsive in this situation that might be a love situation, but you actually are capable of that. And you can redefine yourself as capable of diving in and being impulsive and being romantic and letting that unfold with the blessings that it's meant to. So, hope that serves you. Moving into our pile number 3, this little orange calcite. Your total Betty goddess. Oh, I'm not even going to try and say this goddess name, guys. I swear, when I did all the research for these cards, I looked all these up and I listened to pronunciations, but most of them had like 5 different pronunciations, so I just didn't commit them to memory. Let's see. I'm going to go with Mimosine, but there's an N in there after the first M. So I'm going to go with Mimosine, and if I'm completely wrong, I apologize. If you're a Greek scholar, it's Mnemosyne is how you spell this name. But she is played by Clarissa Darling from Clarissa Explains It All. So Clarissa Explains It All is playing this card because it's all about telling your story, explaining yourself, really making sure that you leave your narrative on the world and the way that you want it to be seen. So as we move into the cards, whoa, okay. So pile number 3, people, you have 2 Mothers cards. So there's a lot of divine feminine energy coming in with this, and it's all about making sure that you tell your story. So this is really a pile that is, I'm feeling a little surgence of like not letting, there's some sort of past life thing coming in. There's some past life fears coming in regards to speaking your truth as a woman in the world that is, ruled by men. And this is telling us that you have all the divine feminine energy that you need, and the world needs to hear your story. So if there's something that you were supposed to be telling the world and you're feeling a little hesitant about that, these cards have your back. So diving into these Mothers cards a little bit deeper, the energy is the Mother of Cups. And the Mother of Cups is highly intuitive. She is on par with the High Priestess energy, and also really creative. This is a card, this would go really well if someone's thinking of writing something, like writing a book or something. This is like a green light for that. And it's also like whatever you're trying to create, don't let the idea of what the outside world is going to judge you for it be a hindrance to that creativity. There's all these stories coming in of like, I know a lot of, especially tarot readers and things like that, talk about having throat chakra issues because in a past life the things that they were saying were not were frowned upon by society, and because of that, the punishments were harsh. And so, like, I know readers that have in past life had their tongue cut out because they spoke their truth, and these cards are saying, like, whatever it is that your truth is, that you have some sort of like old story telling you that you're not safe to tell it, these cards are telling you you're protected and you can tell this story. The advice card is coming in with the Mother of Wands. And the Mother of Wands is very spiritual, very protective of her spirituality so this is an interesting energy. So we have the creative expression, we have the protection. So the Mother of Wands is coming in to protect you. So I think it's being misconstrued in the energy as, oh, I have to protect this. It's going to be unsafe if I like put this out there in the world. And instead, what the Mother of Wands is supposed to be telling you is you are already protected. Like, your spirituality and being connected to your spiritual self is what protects you. So you don't have to protect yourself by holding things back. You protect yourself by going deeper within. Ooh, that was good. Let me say that again. You don't protect yourself by holding things back. You protect yourself by going deeper within. So when it feels like those outside threats to your truth are coming into play, you go deeper into your spirituality. You meditate more, you ask for guidance, you follow the divine impulses, because those are going to take you to the safe journey. So I hope I feel like you guys you're doing well with these. Let me pull some more cards. I love pile number 3 in so many readings because it ends up being like the headier one. This is definitely, the world needs this. Whatever it is you're thinking of, the world needs this. It's your responsibility. Oh, more energy to back this up. So the 8 of Swords is the card that's representing that you're this little fully grown butterfly in the cocoon. And in your mind, you're still a caterpillar. And you're really scared to leave this cocoon because there's all these swords around. But in actuality, you have wings now. Because of this spirituality, you have wings. You've developed wings over the past 2 years. And when you leave this cocoon, the swords are going to be nowhere near you because you're going to be off into flight. So this is a card of being afraid of threats that you are basically too strong for. You're too powerful to be threatened by these things that you're afraid of. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Again, this goddess I can't pronounce is around you, and she thinks it's vital that you tell your story and be unapologetic about it. The thing that I love about Clarissa Darling that I've seen, there's like a whole YouTube. Someone has like almost like a dissertation on YouTube about the importance of Clarissa Darling and her feminism, because she was very feminine, but also there's these elements that at the time were very strange. Like the idea that it was like a teenage girl that was the narrator in the 90s rather than like the boy leading the story, it was like a different thing. And the fact that she was into computers, but also into fashion was like a different thing. So like this is saying like, it's okay that you're breaking a mold. You want to break the mold. The world needs you to break the mold because we need more people like you to look up to. And you can't let these swords that can't touch you stop you. All right, I'm done. Mic drop. So these are our pick a card readings for the day. That was probably shorter than I feel like they normally are, but I'm really happy that we got that information out. And I will be posting this on YouTube, posting this on the feed. So if you missed your pile, don't worry, you can find it there. When I post on YouTube, I usually try to timestamp the crystals, so if you needed to skip ahead, you could, but as most of you that have watched the live probably know, I'm sure you got some information from the other card readings as well. As always, ways to support these readings to keep happening. You can either donate on, what's it called? Venmo. You can donate on Venmo at Michelle Shea. If you need like the last 4 digits of a phone number, they're listed in my Instagram profile. You can join my Patreon. My Patreon is like, I'm so proud of peeps on my Patreon. Guys, I'm so proud of you. My Patreon is a place where people are leveling up. Like, we do these weekly card readings, and like, I don't get to hear a lot in the Patreon. We don't have a lot of comments going on, conversations going on in the comments a lot of times, but I do a lot of readings with you guys personally, and I know from your stories that you tell me that you're making huge strides in your life. And I truly believe that it's because you've dedicated yourself to investing in your spirituality by, you know, having card readings every week and doing the meditations and listening to the cosmic audio. So if you're not familiar with my Patreon, patreon.com/Michelle Shea, there's several different levels. You can get tarot card readings every week, monthly tarot scopes. I do an audio cosmic riff every week that I just kind of like let my self be esoteric for several minutes and record it. And then the higher levels, you can get a mug after 3 months with the Divine Feminine, which I don't have near me. And you can get access to the extended videos that I do. So on the new and full moon, I've started doing these readings and posting them on YouTube, but I post a longer version of it on the Patreon. So all the things over there. The final way that you can support this, if those things don't interest you, is just sharing information about my page. You can go on Facebook, facebook.com/Michelle Shea Walker Tarot, and leave a review, or you can just share things on your stories. If I post that I'm doing a live, you know, post it to your story and let other people know. Thank you guys for being here. And I hope that these readings have served you well. I hope you have a lovely Sunday. And tomorrow's reading is coming in with a video on the Great Conjunction and the Winter Solstice and the Age of Aquarius. So look forward to that in the 12 Days of Tarot as we continue on. Thanks for being here, guys.